Nemesis Reloaded is a story I was skeptical of going into, but once I got to the finish line, I realized I discovered a fiery beast of a story I haven't seen on a scale so grand in such a long time from action-based comic books.
As I suspected, 32 flavors.
Our main character is Matthew Anderson, once a boy whose childhood whom got cut short due to authoritative figures who were involved in a tragedy that affected his upbringing. Quickly, Matt realizes as a youngster that he wants one thing, and one thing in mind only, to redeem said tragedy: revenge. So Matthew sets up a decade-spanning plan that brings Batman to mind in terms of how calculated, methodical, and timely everything must play out in order to achieve his goals. And then the day of reckoning persists. And I'm going to spare you the details of what exactly plays out, the exact events that transpire it, but I will give you a summary of my thoughts on this story. The story is a slobber knocker that will leave Jim Ross wishing he had extra seasoning for someone to slobber his knocker. The action is the cream of the crop, as Mr. Anderson pulls no punches, whether it's with his fist or whatever his weapon of choice may be at that very given moment. There's no particular issue here that feels like it drags on or feels rushed. The flow is so smooth as one issue transitions to the next. And when the moment calls for action, it goes balls to the wall, except style heavy metal. And when exposition needs to be had, it feels cold, dark, and gives me exquisite context into our main protagonist and his motivations. There's lines of dialogue that are spoken that have figurative meaning early on, only to have literal meaning and payoff towards the very end. The big reveal in the last issue that explains why things panned out the way they did in Matt's youth left me with a holy fuckaroni, Batman! Well done, Mark. Well done. I understand the skepticism of the lack of Steve McNiven not returning from the previous book, but I can say boldly and confidently, woo! Jorge Jimenez delivers. He knows how to make you feel the suspense, shock, disgust, and frantic madness going on page for page, and makes it look really badass while drawing it all. And despite wearing a plain white suit sporting a big smile, Jimenez's depiction of Anderson looks terrifying, which says a lot considering he has all the physical traits of what would look like a happy-go-lucky superhero, but underneath it all is your greatest nightmare. Also, but wait, there's more. If you're a fan of the Millar world that's building from most of Mark's books, this one is essential reading before this week's big game #1 hits the comic shops. Lastly, and of course not leastly, I was quite surprised with A, not only how much I enjoyed this story, but B, the portrayal of the villain in this comic. Normally I'm a guy who likes his heroes to be heroes and villains to be villains, and I don't do much of that gray area, a few exceptions, withheld. This, however, has the villain as the main character, and even though it's become commonplace for you to feel sympathetic towards the villain, I didn't really get that vibe here at all. Instead, I got the idea, the interpretation of this is what happens when you create the monster. That's what I got out of it. So this one gets a big, hard recommend from yours truly. It was fun and intense, flowed very well, and absolutely stuck the landing, leaving you with a hint in what's to come in Millar world. So yes, before you read big game #1, fucking buy and read Nemesis Reloaded.
Does he look like a bitch?
No, but seriously, go buy it. Like, what are you doing? Like, did you want Samuel Jackson accuse you of looking like a bitch? Like, he's gonna keep doing that. Maybe you should go buy it. Then go get that big game. I'm just saying. I don't have any endorsement. I don't even know the guy personally. I just like good stuff when I see it. And I did like his nightclub, which still has one more should go. So yeah, why are you watching this video still? Go buy. And if you want to do all those art things that YouTubers always recommend in their videos, you can do that too. But I just want to recommend a good comic book. Thank you.